Okay, so we're finally live. Let me make sure that we got some sound here, and then we're gonna get it popping. Hello. I hope you guys can hear me. I would hate to do a whole podcast and then nobody can hear me talk. Okay, I can hear myself. Sorry about that. What's up, guys? This is your boy Bo Reason from Bo Life, and today we are going live for the first time. And why? I have nothing else to do right now. I was going to go outside and go do a drone video of the sunrise. I'm like, it's about to be a beautiful day. I had my coffee, my smoothie. I'm up early. And guess what? It started to rain and it was a wind advisory. So today I figured let me talk about a podcast episode that I've been wanting to talk about for the longest. I wanted to talk about depression after having COVID. Um, if you guys haven't watched my video, I'm gonna try to link it somewhere, maybe in the description. But um, I had COVID like around March or April, and I was like so freaking sick. Like I was in a hospital. It started out with I'll give you the short story because the story is not that long, but it's a whole episode about it. But I was in the hospital. I had to go from having headaches to going to work with it. I didn't even know I had it because I kept testing negative, and I ended up having to be basically took into the ambulance from work because I passed out at work, and I had to leave from home too while in quarantine because I just kept getting sicker and sicker. So what happened was after that, like I was happy, of course, that I made it through, but I think it started from like within, from just realizing like, wow, I am so freaking sick to where like I don't even know if I'm gonna make it, and seeing everybody else in the hospital and how sick they were, it just it still kind of bothers me honestly because like I was sick, but there's so many people that was a lot more sicker than I was. Um, so that was like really hard to deal with, and just like my family being not knowing what's gonna happen and things like that nature, and then the care that I got while I was in the hospital was so terrible. It's like one of those things like I feel like it kind of should have happened to someone that was a because I'm a nurse too. So I feel like it should have happened to someone who like doesn't take care of their patients, or it felt like it was karma, but it was like I'm always been like a great nurse. People are always like my residents they love me because I always take care of them. So for me to have to go through that, I was just like it still bothers me because I'm like, why was I going through that? And that still kind of bothers me. So after I ended up having, even after I, got myself back together, walking, I was always out of breath. I ended up having to go back to work. I always had this dark cloud over my head after having COVID because it's like, man, like I really could have lost my life. Like, and it's still kind of hard to imagine, like your life can just be gone just like that, and it still like bothers me. So it's crazy because I searched up like, am I the only person that's going through this? And it's funny because I searched it up, and there are like tons of people. There are like studies about this. I was looking in the comments, people feel the same way, that it's just something about having COVID that just puts a lot of people in depression. And I'm not gonna say it's a white or black thing, but I did see a lot of black people. I take that back because I did have some people in the comments too saying they feel the exact same way. And I'm not sure if it was a chemical balance thing or just the fact of just people like having just traumatizing events from it, because there's a lot of people who had COVID and didn't have any symptoms. They were just carriers. But unluckily enough, I was one of those people to where I had to get hospitalized. And, just the thought of me losing my life over something so. I mean, I know COVID isn't minute, but it's just like a virus. Like, I would rather go out in a gunfight. Like, give me something cool. I don't want to die from a virus. Like, something that doesn't have a mind of its own that just takes whoever. Like, it's just crazy. And even the people in the hospital, like the doctors, were like, how did you get so sick? Like, you were just so healthy. And I don't know. I mean, I couldn't have been maybe drinking a lot of water. I know I wasn't exercising, but I've seen people who were like basically just carriers, and unluckily enough, I was just one of those people that I had the worst of it. And even now, it's like when I think about it, it still bothers me. Like, even till this day, like, I pretty much try to just block it out of my mind. And I wanted to make this video to, let people know who probably haven't had COVID or had these same issues, or and to also let other people who have been in this situation, let them know that they are not alone. Because I haven't seen too many videos of people like talking about this. So yeah, that's pretty much just how I've been feeling. And it's easy to block things out, especially when you got to keep going, because what can you really do about it? You got to keep moving. You can't let depression of anything kind of hold you back in life. But it is one of those things, like, when I think about it, it's like, wow, like, I almost died. Like, and it's people out here that have died from it, which kind of makes it worse. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, COVID is not that deadly. The thing about COVID is, like, it's still mysterious. Like, it kind of just, right now, you just know that it just pick and chooses who it can take. Like, I've seen people or heard stories of people younger than me that have died or ended up like on dialysis, on peg tubes. Of course, people that are older than me. And then on top of that, just me being a nurse, the whole 2020 took so much out of me. Like, when I tell you, like, it's to the point where I don't even want to be a nurse no more. And it's like, it's no knock to just being a nurse. It's just like so much stuff that I've seen. I was so much death, so much hard work, and so much of just not knowing. So many people just not caring. I know a lot of people were, talking about the hospitals, but a lot of people weren't talking about what was going on in the nursing homes. Like, I was working midnight shift, and I was, my youngest daughter Kaylee was born around the time we we Detroit went into lockdown, or Michigan went into lockdown. So when we got out of the hospital, it was just already a whole nother world. So when I went back to work after, I took, my leave for paternity, um, it was just like, so like this energy of just like darkness and death. Like, so many residents were like being sent out to the hospital, not coming back, coming down with fevers, dying. You telling family members. Like, I ended up having to tell a few family members myself, which we can't do. But it's like, when it comes to, like, I can't even get hold of doctors because the doctors are sick. Like, it was just like insane. And people not showing up to work. You don't know if they're sick or not. And it's crazy because, like, one part of the story, like, I was working with this lady. We were working every night, and she ended up having like this cough or whatever. I already had my mask on and already like sanitizing, but she disappeared one day, and I'm like, oh, that she got sick. I'm like, okay, she has COVID or whatever. But she ended up being gone for like at least like 2 or 3 months. She was like on a ventilator, and I'm not even sure if she still made it because I don't work at that job anymore. But that just goes to show you like how life and death is such a thin freaking line. So, like, when I say, like, when I'm so over nursing, is because it was so much death. Like, can you imagine just going into your job? First of all, it's midnight, it's dark. People were like coughing, sneezing, half dead, hanging out the. It was like I swear it's like a horror scene. Every time I think about it, it's still like unbelievable, like how much death and darkness was around that job. And it's like when I go to different nursing homes and work with different people, it's like they have the exact same story. Like, even the workers were like popping up, getting sick. Good morning, my guy. I'm late to the party, but I'm here. Turn up, turn up. Here go a Daff, my boy, John. What's up? Check out his channel. Remember, we did a podcast, a dope. That's my favorite podcast right now. I can't wait to get him back. I just got to think of something else to talk about. Um, but what's up, my guy? Good freaking morning. Hope you had your coffee. I'm not sure if you're a coffee drinker, but back to the story. Yeah, like, it was just so much darkness around the job. And I think all that collectively just like I pretty much just internalized it. And then the whole pandemic, like within itself, and all of that, and then finally getting COVID, and not finally, like I was waiting to get it, but I mean, sometimes things are like that are inevitable, especially when I go to work. People are getting sick. There's people in and out, and now they're like letting visitors in, and you don't know if they're vaccinated. Sometimes they're not wearing masks because they're so pro. Oh, I don't want to wear masks, but it's the fact of even if you don't believe in wearing a mask, it's like when you want to be safe and not just for yourself but for other people, especially when you're working around a lot of older people where the immune systems are weak, where you just don't know. Like I said, it was just so much death. And so when I finally got sick and recovered, it was just this whole like why. It's always like this big why. You start to think about like life and death. You know, you start talking to God, you start talking to yourself, you start looking at the world, and it's like, did I do something to deserve this? Like, was this like a spiritual awakening, or like did something good come out of this, or is it just one of those things to where like it just happens? And I'm like I said, it's like and there's a lot of people out there that were feeling the same way. And then one weird thing that I noticed that a lot of people were saying that they were having vitamin D issues, or where they had to take vitamin D supplements every week, the same amount of doses that I was taking, that I'm still taking. And I know that kind of messes with your mood because as Black people, we're in a house during the winter time. We get depressed because we're not getting vitamin D through our melanin because we're not going outside. So I was wondering, like, is that had something to do with that? Oh, and then another thing was the whole I had an issue with my heart in the hospital. So it was just like things are coming back to back to back to back, and it's just like I said, it's like, what did I do to deserve this? Like the care from the hospital, how they were treating me. It was just like, how can you be a nurse and not care about your patients? And it's just like so beyond me. And I was like I was saying, I was such a good nurse, so I really thought I was. It's like, what did I do to deserve this? So that's why I say, like, after having COVID, it's just like I never really looked at the world the same. You know what I'm saying? I never really I completely changed. Like it's like my whole outlook on the world, like for better or worse, of course. There are some good things because it was definitely humbling. It's not like life hasn't humbled me enough, but it just changed me. And it's like of course I'm thankful. I'm very, very, very thankful. But sometimes it's like you just be thinking like still like why? Like why did I go through this? Sometimes honestly I do get angry. I get angry like why, I hate to even say why could this happen to someone else. So I'm not gonna say that, but it's just like, hey, I guess whatever. Sometimes you kind of just roll with the punches. Like everything, I do believe everything happens for a reason. Maybe I did need a humbling. Um, I I I, I want to say one thing that has changed, like in a good way, is that I learned not to take my time for granted. Like after I got better, I was on YouTube, like I was pretty much just on it. Just I was revving up like how I was pushing out videos, like my quality, stuff like that. I started writing music a lot more. So stuff like that was a good thing because I learned not to take my time for granted. But at the end of the day, it was still like, you know what? This is crazy. These are some crazy times. And I'm still taking it day by day. Even now, I'm still taking it day by day because I really just try not to think about it. I put it in the back of my mind and pretty much keep going because when I do think about it, honestly, I try to cry. It's like I try not to cry because of like how traumatizing it was. Like, I couldn't imagine just me leaving my kids behind or my children without me even having my stuff in order. Any wills or any life insurance or anything like that. So it's just crazy, and it just really makes you think about time. So I think that's one thing I want to give people, like any advice on or anything that I got from it, is that like time is just so, like that's the best commodity we have. Like, use it wisely. Like, if you're not happy, or if you're not happy doing what you're doing, like at least do what you can to find time to, spend time with your family, go for them walks, like draw, do whatever you can to use your time wisely, because you don't want to look up and then you're gone or your spouse is gone, and it's like, wow, like I didn't even get time to really smell the roses. That's one thing I want to let you guys know before I leave, is smell them. I don't even want to cuss, but smell them fucking roses. I swear to God, like when you go for them walks, like just soak it in, like your existence, like just soak everything in, every moment, because time goes so fast and you don't know when your time is up. Like, that is one thing that I got from that I really want to like spread across anybody that listens, like to the world, if I could. Like, time is just so valuable. Morning, man. Windy as oh my god, it is so freaking windy. I had to what's up, Soul Star? Shout out to you. It's so freaking windy outside that I couldn't even fly my drone. Like, they were talking about some winds up to like 45 miles an hour. So I'm sick. I'm like, I got my coffee, had my smoothie, like I said. I'm about to go hit that sunrise. I saw that, and it's about to rain. I guess it's a good thing I didn't go outside. I probably would have lost my drone. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah, COVID has definitely changed everything. Especially like I look at old like YouTube videos of how the world like used to be. Like, I was telling my wife the other day, like I'm so thankful that I was able to go to a couple concerts for my first time before COVID, because now like I'll probably be scared to death to go to like a concert right now. And it's just like seeing how the world is now. It still has that lingering feel of like what is going on. Like, there's still that death, and you know I don't really hear too many people talking about it these days. But the waves are coming back. Like, a lot of people are getting sick. Like, I'm so happy. Like, my daughter, she just got over it, which was scary because like I was told, or was an annoying of, kids don't really get it. And she's 14 turning 15 this month. So it's crazy. Yeah, I would never go anywhere near a concert. Like, that's just, you pretty much asking for it. Yeah, I only went to my first concert with my wife as her birthday gift, and it was Tamar Braxton, and it was actually kind of amazing. And then I went to go see thanks, and I went to go see Daniel Caesar for free with my sister, so that was cool. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was still a great experience. Just to experience that before COVID. But if it was up to me, I probably would have seen some like a rock and roll, or maybe some Eminem or something like that. But I'm just thankful that I got to experience that. And like I said, just seeing the world now is just like, there's a lot of stuff I probably just wouldn't do. Like, me and my wife were gonna go to a bar, but we're both like kind of leery. Like, she's vaccinated. I have my first shot. I'm waiting to get my second shot, and even then, it's like it's still not like a guarantee. So I think with all that, just just thinking about how life is now, it really makes you like be thankful for, sad to say, the stuff that we had, the stuff that we kind of took for granted. It kind of reminds me of, I hate to even bring it up, but 9/11, where we took our safety for granted. But it's like evil just tries to find like this loophole. Of course we get stronger afterwards, but then you look back like, wow, like we didn't have to go through TSA, or we didn't have to go deal with all that crap. Everybody else is treating this like it don't. Oh my goodness gracious, you don't even understand. I be walking around like people just don't care. Like, we're not in the middle of a pandemic. Like, yeah, like even if people are vaxxed, like why not still wear your mask if you can still get sick? If it's a possibility that you can still get sick or still carry it, you know, I wouldn't want to get anybody else sick. That reminds me of like a story of the bus driver who who was driving around and was telling people like, you guys should wear your mask or whatever. People were blowing him off. He ended up passing away, and this was in Detroit. So it's like simple stuff like that. You don't know how anybody else's immune system is, and what did Dave Chappelle say? Like, I know he was joking, but I'm pretty sure he was serious. When he had it, he didn't know. He was talking about so many doorknobs. I probably killed like 1 million people, which is it's so crazy because it can go from so many people to so many people. Like being in nursing and going to nursing school kind of taught me like how a virus works. So even way before COVID, I was already like, washing my hands and just being mindful of how a virus works and, incubation time and all that. So, I've just been, this is just some crazy times we're living in. I don't have too much time to go. My wife is about to go get her hair done. She's going to get some locks and she's gonna be a whole different person. Shout out to my wife / manager. I love you. Thank you for dealing with me. Thank you for being patient. And congratulations on graduating nursing school. I wish I could have had it edited. I could have added in, the graduate congrats. And but we're gonna end this here, guys. Yeah. I was thinking about it too. I have braids, and it makes it so much easier to just lock your hair when it gets so long, because it's like that natural hair looks awesome. It is awesome. But after a while, it's like, okay, I don't want to wake up and do this. Like, I be going to work looking crazy sometimes. Yeah. Big ups to her, because it was a long year. Like, it was actually no, I take that back. Time went by fast, but she worked it out, driving to Ohio, having a baby, a husband, kids, all that. She worked it out. That's not an easy feat, and she did like really good in her classes. So that's pretty dope. Um, yeah. So I think the next episode of a podcast I'll probably do live. This is a lot easier than I thought. But we're probably going to talk about like just catching up and the stuff I had planned for next year. I still have to congratulate everybody for like thanking everybody for subscribing. Like my goal at the end of the year was supposed to be 500, and we're like at 523, I believe, or something like that. So I just wanted to say like for real, like thank you from the bottom of my heart for like subscribing, liking, checking it out. Hey, dealing with my weirdism. Uh, but we're gonna end it here. I didn't plan on this being that long, so let me go ahead and get off of here. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hey, me and you both, bro, for real. Good looks. Hey, one day at a time, and I appreciate you watching it and sharing. But we're gonna end it here. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying positive, and staying woke. And on that note, my lovely people, adios. Have a good morning. Get some fresh air if you can, and adios. Peace.